What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is going to be the first installment of Medic Monday. Today, what we're talking about is TCCC, which stands for Tactical Combat Casualty Care. This is pretty much the basis for field medic operations. So I'm just going to do a general overview. Going to go into a little bit of detail on the phases, but not a crazy amount. So we're gonna get started here. So as I said, TCCC stands for Tactical Combat Casualty Care. It has three phases. Phase 1 is care under fire. Phase 2 is tactical field care. Phase 3 is tactical evacuation care, or TACEVAC. So one of the main things differences is in tactical medicine. Um, as far as what I was taught as a combat medic, you go um, HABCs in civilian EMS. It's ABCs. Uh, so in the Army, it's massive extremity hemorrhage, airway, breathing, and then circulation. So that's kind of how you go about your assessments and treatments and things like that. So phase 1, care under fire. um, so the general overview, I have like 5 steps pretty much. Number one, and the most important thing you have to kind of get over mentally is it's always mission first. So if it's not uh, pertinent to the mission or conducive to the mission to uh, grab a casualty at that time, um, security is number one as well. So you do what you can. It's not like an end all be all. It's not like you're gonna just leave people because we don't do that. But you might have to wait a little bit and not be able to just rush out there and grab somebody, and you kind of got to do it tactically and logically and decide what the best course of action is. So mission first. Number two is for you to return fire and take cover. Um, Fire superiority is the number one thing, uh, because you can't run out and grab somebody if you're just going to get shot over and over. There's plenty of pictures, videos, things like that, that at least we were showed in training, and they really kind of paint a picture for you to see what the importance of not just rushing out and grabbing someone is. Um, so your first step in your actual first physical step or focal step is going to be direct your casualty to perform self-aid, take cover, and return fire if possible. This is important. It gets them out of the line of fire, makes them less of a target. While you're returning fire and your platoon or your company is returning fire, um, it draws fire away from them so they get more injured, and also allows for uh, kind of a rescue mission to to go on. So, and then if they can perform self-aid or return fire and help themselves as well, that's really important. So, uh, so you're gonna run out there after that with your security. They're gonna lay down cover fire. You're gonna, if they're burning for whatever reason, say they got blown up or they're in a vehicle that's burning, you're gonna try to stop the burning process. So you're gonna get them away from whatever source is burning. So um, you're gonna stop any life-threatening extremity hemorrhage, and this is arms, legs. You're gonna apply a tourniquet, and that is all you do in care under fire. You grab them, throw a tourniquet on if you need to, if applicable, and then you pull them out. You're still taking fire. And it's important to remember too with these phases that they can go back and forth. You could be in tactical field care, which is our next phase, and then start taking fire again, direct fire, and you'll be right under care under fire again. So you'll have to move them back to a secure location to start that process all over again. So it's kind of fluid. So don't get stuck in this oh, we're out of care under fire, we can't go back into it. You can always go back into it, so just keep that in mind. Security is always number one, and preventing additional casualties. So, moving on to tactical field care, this is the meat and potatoes of combat casualty care. This is where a majority of your interventions and life-saving procedures are going to happen. So number one is you're going to establish your treatment area. Basically, when you drag them in care under fire, when you drag them, you're going to try to drag them into a place of cover and concealment. Cover is more important than concealment in this case. Get them out of the line of fire, because the battle's still going on potentially. So, um, uh, so you're also going to do this in accordance with your unit SOPs. They're going to have set things in your mission briefings and things like that. This is a little more detailed, but basically they're going to say, okay, if we take fire, this is our primary uh, point for treatment and things like that, and you're going to have that all set up in your mission briefing. So just try to follow your SOPs, and that's always uh, MET-TC, they say, MET-TC dictated, which a lot of people hate that because it's a cop-out, but um, you're going to base it off. Basically what that means is you're going to base it off of the situation, so that can change anytime. So you just need to be fluid with that. Number two, triage is needed. So if you have multiple casualties, you're going to do a quick head-to-toe visual and physical inspection, whatever, and you're going to assess what the life-threatening injuries are and who has priority over who. So say you have a gunshot wound to the leg, and then you've got another guy with a sprained ankle. You're going to take the gunshot wound first and treat him first. So number three, then you're going to do your HABCs. This is your really your start of your treatment. You're going to do your quick blood sweep. You're going to treat anything you find as you find it. So if they have a gunshot wound to the chest, you're going to uncover it, slap a occlusive dressing over it, or do what you need to do, pack a wound, whatever. This is when you're going to do it, and then you're going to continue your blood sweep, and then you're going to move on to your airway. You're going to make sure it's open and patent. Patent just means clear and working, basically. So you're going to look, listen, feel, whatever. Make sure that if they're talking to you, they have a patent airway. But you're just going to kind of, if they're unconscious, you're going to assess if there's anything in the airway, any sort of blood or object that's obstructing that airway. And then you're also going to take care of it at that time. And you're going to maintain it. You're going to assess breathing next. So you're going to look for chest rise and fall, equal chest rise and fall. The way we were taught was to just put the back of your hands on their chest and just make sure that their chest is rising and falling equally. It's not paradoxical back and forth motion. Then you're going to check your pulses. You're going to assess your circulation. So if I can't remember exactly the numbers, I think it's at least 80 systolic. If you can feel a radial pulse, which is on your wrists, you're going to, if they don't have that, if they have a carotid, then they have at least, I'm trying not to tell you wrong, I think it's at least 60 systolic blood pressure. I could be wrong about that. You'll have to double check. Like I said, this is just an overview. However, you're going to check your pulses, assess your circulation. If it's absent, or weak, then you're going to establish your need for your IV or IO access, and you're going to push your medications or fluids at this time. Next step is really crucial. You're going to manage for shock and treat for shock. So you're going to also prevent hypothermia by doing this. You're going to place a blanket, preferably below them and above them. A lot of times, like for us, you forget to place something underneath of them or get them off the ground, because the ground actually sucks out a lot of heat. And another good note to add is that people, even in 110 degree outside temperature weather, you can go hypothermic. It doesn't really matter what the outside temperature is. Obviously, if it's colder, it's going to be quicker. But if you're suffering from blood loss, you're going to lose your body heat very quickly. So you need to manage that. Next, you're going to reassess all your interventions, make sure they're secure. You're going to reassure, and you're going to manage your pain. And then, as best you can, you're going to do a head-to-toe thorough assessment. So you're going to palpate, which is touching, feeling. You're going to assess all of their limbs, bones, everything, chest, ribs, all that stuff. You're going to palpate the abdomen. You're going to check for priapism, any sort of defecation or things like that. Things you might have missed in your quick HABCs, your blood sweep, things like that. This is where you're going to open them up as far as the clothing goes, and you're going to make sure that you didn't miss any life threats at this time, or any other injuries that you need to address. And then the last thing, last two things, you're going to secure everything for sure. Make sure everything's taped off, secured, tied, all that stuff. You're going to complete your documentation. This is a TC3 card. I'll show a picture of what a TC3 card looks like real quick. So you're going to fill all this out, their injuries, your interventions, meds that you've pushed, things like that. And then you're going to maintain your security. During this time, you're also going to call in the tactical leader, is whose job it is to call in the medevac most of the time, but you're going to gather the information that you need. And I'm not going to go into that right now. I can do it later, but just know that you, during this time, should have already begun the process of calling in your medevac or tagavac. So then, after you're maintaining security, you're reassessing your casualty and your interventions, and managing pain, and doing anything else you need to secure and manage your patient or casualty. Then you're going to move into tactical evacuation care. So TACEVAC is a transition of care. You're going to establish your evac point. It'll probably be predetermined based on your SOPs and your mission briefing. You're going to give a quick but thorough verbal handoff to whoever's receiving your casualty, whether that's the medevac crew or your TACEVAC crew. And then you're going to stage your casualties. They're going to tell you how they want loaded based on your assessment of priority when you triage your patients or casualties. Again, you're going to say, okay, this guy needs to come off first and get this guy's priority. This casualty is less priority, less severe, so they can come off last. And so you're going to insert them into the vehicle in that manner. So then you're going to load, and they're going to take them. Now, a good thing to remember with this is that air evac, medevac is great. but it's not always available. Everything is mission dictated. So if they have other assets or all their assets in other areas on the battlefield, or for whatever reason they aren't able to make it to you and they don't send you a medevac, they'll send you a tagovac, or you'll have to um, carry your casualty out to an evac point, something like that. So it's always good to keep in mind. You could be sitting on these patients for a long time, casualties, for an extended period of time. Sometimes, a couple hours. So you just got to be ready to manage your casualty for an extended period of time. Also, with ground evac, your TAC evac, you may, depending on personnel and the mission, you may have to accompany, or a CLS certified person may have to accompany uh, those casualties with that vehicle. They may not have a medic available to you um, on that crew. So depending on the mission and everything, and manpower and resources available, you you might have to uh, continue your treatment, and you might have to become part of the TACAVAC crew, medevac crew. It just depends. Everything's dependent on the situation and the mission. So, so that's a quick overview of TCCC. Like I said, deployed medicine has a great set of guidelines and protocols out there. You can get a more thorough, in-depth view on what it is, what's done in each phase. I just wanted to give a quick first Medic Monday overview. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know. If you want to learn a little more, or you want me to do another video on a specific phase or a specific thing, or whatever the case, let me know down in the comments. And that is all I have for today. So, hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you next time.